Big trouble. Long pond straightaway. Damage for Casey Kane and others. Greg Biffle with some debris on the front of his grill, and there's Carl Edwards, two-time Pocono winner. 7th caution of the day.
Yeah, he obviously they had some trouble over the turn there, and a 5-car. Obviously, when he got to the corner, just couldn't get a turn, run up next to the wall again.
Coming off of turn 1. That's a hard kiss.
Yeah, the 18. Wow. I don't think the 18 knew the 5 was out there, and I think the 5. It looked like the 5 just jumped up the racetrack to avoid the 18.
And you see the 99. Someone had to have gotten into the back of the 99 to spin him back across the racetrack that way, because he was really behind everything.
And I'm not sure how much damage Greg Biffle got, but the front end of his grill was carrying some debris.
Yeah, maybe there's another angle when we can see what exactly happened to Carl. It looked like, you know, as you see, he's in the wall.
Yeah, the second. Yeah, that's the second. And obviously, probably his brakes weren't working.
Yeah,
because he hit the wall so hard, and that second hit hurts harder than the first hit, even though you're going slower.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you've taken all the crush out of the car.
And you see him right here. He's on the outside, and you can't really tell, but it looks like he and the 18 get together and go out.
You see Carl,
Carl clips the back of him. Carl clips the back of him as he comes down.
Yep. Looked like the 99 got on the brakes trying to miss it, slid sideways, and then clipped the tail end of the 5-car.
Now watch the second hit here. I mean, it almost looks like he doesn't have any brakes, Kyle, because he wasn't slowing down there, and it probably broke a rotor on that first hit.
I'm not sure what happened. It was getting pretty crazy out there. I mean, as it should on these restarts, and it looked like we came off of turn 2, and somehow Casey hit the wall there, but it wasn't like he just ran to the wall. There was a bunch of oil all over the track, so I couldn't miss him. I hit him in the left rear, and I'm glad he got out of the car okay, because, man, he smacked the wall so hard. So it's tough to run this whole race and then miss the most fun part, which is coming up right here. This is the good part of this race.
Lane. Oh, no. Ooh, goodness gracious. There you go. 4 wide. Oh, trouble. A car spins into the wall. Turn 1. Carl Edwards off Ryan Newman. Caution.
Yep. 2 or 3 cars are down on the apron down there sliding around. It's got the look of a tire down.
Cole Witt goes to the apron and gets damage. And let's slow this down a bit and watch for a hand out the window of the number 99 of Edwards.
Right up here.
Top right.
See there you go. You
can see his car really wiggling.
See the car start to wiggle, wobble around. He's trying to.
And Tony Stewart is in trouble.
Oh, Tony Stewart, what everyone hoped would not happen, and he has trouble, and he gets the 99 car involved.
Man, I tell you, that was just a bad decision right there. Leave him out there. I was worried about that.
10th caution flag today, and Tony Stewart has had a bad day go to worse, and not a great day now for the 99 car, because he was caught in that situation.
We don't really know what caused this spin with Tony Stewart. It may have been that tire or not, but well, he sure does look frustrated here.
Very angry Tony Stewart in the car, and a lot of frustration. Word is he may have had some contact from another car.
Because the tire quit smoking. I mean, he was doing a great job nursing that thing around there, just being very careful with the fender. And he did a great job with it because it was smoking less and less. But this might have been a complete different situation here.
Well, the problem was he was going backwards, and he was being passed by so many cars.
Well, they had dodged the bullet a number of times today, and he was just trying to just baby the car and take care of that left front tire. Climbs out, still has the Hans device on heavy damage on the back of that 20 car. Let's show you what happened here. Lap 175. Here comes the 2 car.
It looks like Tony was having some problems right there, struggling up against up high, and the two car just had too much momentum on him.
Carl Edwards was on the high side, and he was trying to have nowhere to go, and Tony's car spun up, and Carl just goes right into him. So damage on the front of the 99, and there's the heavy damage on the back of the two-time.
Yeah, we see the tires flat on the left front. Tony probably had that tire go down and trying to get out of the way, and two car got into the back of it. Yeah, that's exactly. You see the sparks flying out from under the car. Nowhere for Kurt Busch to go.
That's a great pickup, Andy. The tire going down, and suddenly Tony slows up, and there's nowhere for Kurt to go right behind him.
Yeah, not totally unintentional by Kurt Busch. Tough break for Carl Edwards, too. He's got his hand out the window.
Watch the left front there. See his hand come up. If his hand comes out.
Tires down. You see the sparks
there
flying.
it is. Yeah.
The sparks are flying out. The tires went flat. And what's Tony probably so frustrated about, he's trying to slow down, get out of the way, and he gets hit behind. And really, Kurt didn't have anywhere to go. He just couldn't slow down that quick. Just a tough deal for both of these drivers. 2 chase contenders, 3 chase contenders in this now. So, wow, the chase contenders here at Kansas City today have had a tough go of this.
Tony Stewart began the day second in the chase, just 2 points out of the lead. Here again's what happened. Watch the left front. See the sparks come out, abruptly slows, and there's the 2 car.
And I wonder how much damage Kurt Busch has on the front of his car, too. He had the fastest car in the field earlier. Poor Carl Edwards, he couldn't see anything.
You know, the amazing thing about this tire failure on the left front of the 20 car is that it didn't actually blow out. It was deflated. It was down. You could tell it was going flat, but usually when this happens, you see him just exploding. And it didn't happen this time to Tony's car.
I'm sure you know what this feels like right here when you had a car that could have won the race.
Crunch. Oh, man. Bobby Labonte. Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart again. Casey Kane. Who's that radiator steaming? That's Carl's. Carl Edwards. Michael Waltrip got some damage in it. He's continued away, but he's driving around the racetrack smoking. It all started, I guess, when Mark and the 25 car got together. Rusty gets in the back of the 16. DJ gets in the back of Rusty and somehow gets by. Oh, man. Tony Stewart got a piece of that. Pretty big one. Nowhere to go. This would be the accordion effect.
You see these guys check up in front of you, so you check up, but it just stacks up behind you, and unfortunately that's what happened.
All right, man, I want to blow a tire here.
Oh, trouble!
Here we go.
Harvick is around. In the grass. Caution is out. That's Carl Edwards up against the outside wall. Yep. They almost make contact again.
Sadler down through the grass.
Oh, more cars spinning down in turn 1.
That Wimmer.
There's Wimmer. Number of guys went down pit road. Well, the 29 car is going to be in the crash. This guy is going to be in the... All right, roll it.
Came down on Carl Edwards in the 99. And that Kevin Harvick was right in the middle of it.
And there's Busch going through the grass. And there's a 22 car on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Oh, and Mike Wallace just squeezes by. Was that Mike Wallace or was that Mayfield? No, I thought it was Mike. Could have been Mayfield. I don't think Elliott Sadler hit anything. No.
That was weird. I mean,
He's got a story to tell.
He really came down the racetrack. Doesn't take much.
Is that Rusty? Rusty just missed it.
Yeah, Mike Wallace did a good job.
Yeah, he sure did. You're right. It was Mike.
Wow. Bobby Gordon locks him up. He's got a right front flat, locking him up, trying to avoid it.
Watch from upstairs.
Watch the car on the high side. 31 car. Tough to see from that angle.
From that, yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how the 22 car.
Yeah, that all happened later.
Yeah, all happened later. And he looked like he was straight back there.
I bet you the 5 and the 22 met somewhere. This is on board with Dale Jarrett.
Jumps Keselowski into it.
Major points implications. Montoya's car back into the wall. Carl Edwards heavily damaged front and rear. And Jeff Gordon has some damage as well.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff Gordon's got much damage, but Montoya got into the 99 right there as they entered the corner.
Yeah, it looks like Gordon has zero
he just
damage.
spun.
It's time for tires.
Yeah,
Take the penalty.
This is still...
Are they flat or are they just shaking? They're flat and shaking a little bit. It's time. Take the penalty. Okay, pace cars are 2. This time we'll take the penalty. Put 4 tires on it, guys. Talk to me about the pace car, Shannon.
The penalty is pitting with the pits closed. He doesn't care. He wants to get him on pit road and get those tires changed. You see him going by the damaged Montoya car, who's headed to the garage area.
Yeah, the thing is that they don't want to tear the race car up with flat tires by going an extra lap. The penalty is just starting at the back of the field, so it's not that big a deal. He's already back there.
Go look at the splitter. 4 tires, fuel, stay back. No fuel. Check out the splitter braces.
Yeah, they're concerned when he spun there, he came down off the racetrack.
You got one broke, or they good? You got one broke. Okay, let's get a plan there. Let's just leave him done. Okay, let's go get caught up. Nice and easy. Go.
You see Steve Letard taking care of the details. They're talking about a splitter brace that's broken, so they want to fix it.
And that's the kind of leadership you need, especially in situations like this. You have a chance to gain on a championship here.
Let's show you what happened here. The incident involving the 99 of Carl Edwards. You see his car heavily damaged sitting there, and the 42.
See Montoya just get loose there, and as he corrects his car, he gets up into the 99. Jeff Gordon, as he turns his car down to try to miss these guys, it gets loose. Here comes the 12 car into it.
Well, Truex just missed Gordon, and Newman just missed him, and you see he said Brad Keselowski involved there.
Gordon extremely lucky not to get damaged there.
Yeah, and you might ask, why did Jeff Gordon spin out there? Well, you're going 170 miles an hour, and you see all he's doing is trying to turn his car. They've loosened his car up, so they've really got it loose, it looks like, but he's just having to turn the wheel. He did a great job.
Now Juan Pablo Montoya's onboard camera. Well, riding along with Carl Edwards, who was in front of this, he thought it may be up high across the racetrack. Here's Carl's on board.
Yeah, Carl's looking ahead. He was trying to make a pass on Matt Kenseth.
Hold it up there. Hold the brake up there. Hold it up there. Hold it up there. He just got super loose.
Man, he just caught just enough of the bumper to send Carl around. As you said, Andy, was just trying to go around the outside here. Man.
Carl got the back end and the front and side of the car.
Yeah, and for Jeff Gordon, he was already in that corner just as hard as he could possibly go. He couldn't afford to turn left any more than he was, and that's what made him get sideways and loose there during that.
We just, really close racing. I think Carl was really close to me, and he drove right inside, right beside me, and it got me loose, and I lost it. It's one of those deals that if you don't give anybody any room, it's going to happen. It's a shame. Everybody in this Target Chevy keeps doing an amazing job every week. This week, we didn't have the car we wanted, but running, getting better and better as the day went on. So, kind of sucks when things like that happens.
I might win the race home. I get to go home and see my wife. That's the only good thing. But that Aflac Ford Fusion was fast, and I ran beside Juan the corner before through 3 and 4, and I got pretty close, and his car looked real secure. And we went down that next corner. I gave him a little more room than I even had here in 3 and 4, and it's just the nature of these cars. Someone gets beside you and it gets loose. The replay I saw looked like he almost had it saved, and he just got in the back of my car. So surprised me pretty good, but too bad. And that's just racing. That's how it goes.
Now he's got to fight for some room. This is the same place that the 78 and the 55 had trouble. This time, though, the 19 of Carl Edwards bounced over those curbs and bounced into David Reagan. That was a battle for 7th or battle for 6th.
It looks like the groove has moved up. You can get.
Oh, there we go. Trouble right there.
Carl
99. 99 got around back there, but hang on, baby. I think the 24 sidewall around. Big time.
Hard crash for Carl Edwards. At lap 257, caution flag number 8.
You see Gordon down on the inside. I think that I think 24 maybe gets, no, Carl gets loose. That's what happened. Come down and 24 was there.
Boy, Tony
I
Stewart
think Tony
gets by.
I don't know. You think Tony maybe got a piece of that?
If he didn't, it was very close.
Sure looked like it. He clipped him when he went by.
Actually, get into the side of Jeff Gordon, though, in that right door.
See right here, right here, right here. Ah, man,
that's as close as you can get without getting into it.
It was.
I just got in a bad spot there, arrow-wise, and when it started to get loose, it just sucked the front end over to the 24. And honestly, I thought Tony was all packed up under my bumper, but it wasn't. So it's just nature of the racetrack.
Oh. A multi-car crash has just occurred in turn 3. Kyle Petty is involved. J.J. Yaley in the 18. That's Carl Edwards in the 99.
Someone spun going in turn 3 and backed across the racetrack in front of all these cars and left them no place to go. Might have been Kyle. I'm not sure exactly who it was.
Here are the replays. We're under caution at Daytona.
No tire on that left rear, BP, the 45 car. Let's see. There's Jeff. Oh, wow.
Jeff Green breaks loose through the grass, then up the track.
Kind of a strange crash, really.
Joe Nemechek.
Almost, I mean, right in the door.
Looked like Schrader did a good job getting around it in the 21.
And left those guys with absolutely no place to go. And we see what happened to the left rear of the 45. The 99 car just knocked off the tire and the quarter panel of the left rear.
Hard impact there. Carl Edwards into Kyle Petty.
Not sure why Jeff Green lost it there going into the corner. Kind of it looked a little bit strange, BP. I couldn't put my finger on why he lost it before he even got to the corner.
Yeah, I think we probably need to back up just a little bit and see if we can have some idea what happened. I'm not sure exactly. I'm like you. It didn't look right.
And Dave Burns had just told us Carl Edwards was running back there because he wasn't very happy with the way his car was handling, wouldn't turn.
Another big one in turns 1 and 2 at Daytona. You look at Brian Scott in the 33. Fire underneath that car. He'll have to come to a stop. Fire extinguishers putting that out inside of the car. Involved in this, the 19 of Carl Edwards. It might have been the 33 of Brian Scott that got up underneath him. Danger. Take a look at what happens. The 42 of Kyle Larson completely sideways.
He gets down to the apron. You see the sparks where the track bar mount hits the ground. He saves it, but he comes up the track, has no choice but to connect with the 19, who then starts to spin. Brad Keselowski gets a face full of sparks. The 17 does go around, and now the track is blocked. Now these guys are trying to pull through, and the 2 gets woed up, and the 3 kind of gets woed up, but then you see Carl Edwards goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam, makes big contact with the back of the 19.
Yeah, Brian Scott looked like he was going to be able to get through this clean. He was accelerating, get by the cars, but then up came Carl Edwards from the bottom of the track.
There's nothing you can do in that situation. You know, he just was coming at such a high rate of speed. Really nothing Brian Scott could have done. See Carl, he's watching. We're going around a lap car right here. See, Larson just gets loose. Carl goes around, tries to shoot the middle, just didn't clear him.
Crash. Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the second time today with Carl Edwards, and Jr.'s car is aflame.
Oh, man. I think that'll do Amelia in. I think that's about it for her.
And Carl Edwards in the 19 had damage from the last caution.
Oh man. He had a tire go down or some kind of a failure there.
Yeah, right front. Looked like he had some damage on the right front from that wreck back there.
You all right?
Up the hill it went.
Ford Jr. just can't catch a break here today.
Nope.
Talk about wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow. Well, Carl didn't get going too good there, and I'm sure Matt didn't mind that.
Kenseth got a good jump.
Look at Kurt Busch Battling out there on the outside of the 19. Whoa! Wreck down the back straight with the 19.
Kidding me? Big wreck behind you. Caution south. Caution south.
Well, we knew that it might be a little wild and crazy here at the end.
Yeah, that would hurt. Damn, man. Give me a break. Who was that?
That was Kyle Larson.
What an idiot.
There's Larson on the right coming up behind Edwards.
Yeah, he got a little loose.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think Carl got a little loose.
He was under the 41. That sucked him around just a tiny bit. The back end stepped out ever so slightly, and he had to check up, and the 42 just had momentum.
Yeah, he's sideways, and Larson's on the gas.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I mean, I understand Carl saying, hey, cut me a break. You know, he's saying, yeah, I got a little loose, and I need you to maybe check up a little bit, but... And he blocked him a little bit, too. He definitely ran a low line there.
Yeah.
Pow.
That is a, look at that safer bear. Look at, oh my gosh,
that's
how the car looks
vicious hit.
Mean.
Imagine that. No matter how good a shape you're in, that would hurt.
It picks you up off the ground. You've had a hard hit.
Car pushing, see that? He gets a big shove up through the middle.
Yeah, I didn't think Dale Jr. was going to want to stay down that bottom. You get down that bottom and you're trapped there.
That was a close call right there.
Woo.
Oh, got trouble up front.
Biffle right in front of Junior.
Carl
Kenseth is in it.
Oh, and turns Quapple into the outside wall.
And
Kevin, a lot of chasers involved in this one.
Oh,
17.
Now when you get off there, if you can drive it.
This is definitely the big one we were looking for, guys. I was hoping we had not seen, or we had seen it and we wouldn't see this, but
these guys hung back all day, and that's what they get in then.
We don't have any brakes.
we told her, look at Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car all torn up in the front. We mentioned Talladega could be the turning point in the chase.
This is definitely a turning point for these guys right here. All these chasers involved.
Carl Edwards all day long tried to stay out of trouble. You see Juan Pablo Montoya head of the garage area, 17 involved.
Your teammates there in the 99 took you guys out.
Biffle's car's destroyed.
Be interesting to see on the replay exactly what did happen.
Travis Quapple, the pole sitter, brand new car. Heavy damage on his car after having such a great run. 22, Dave Blaney. Harvick also damaged. He's sitting on pit road there, right side and left front damage.
Do you need another pen, Doc? I see you writing all these numbers down. Are you out of ink?
I'm running out of ink. Is writing people down in this incident here. Again, Biffle, Edwards, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kenseth. 29 of Harvick. There's Carl Edwards, who had spent all day trying to stay out of trouble, trying to dodge people on pit road, even pitting a lap late to stay away from contact.
Yeah, that's frustrating to have a car as good as Travis Quapple had today to end like that.
Yeah, and he was almost by it, got clipped in the right rear, and that's what's so frustrating for him.
Let's show you again here. 14 laps to go. And the big one, 2, takes place.
You can see these guys coming on the high side. See Carl Edwards and Greg Biffle up on the high side, making a real run. You see Blaney gets turned a little bit there, but that was okay. That looked like that could be big. But the trouble's going to start right up here in the front whenever, looks like maybe the 99 gets into the back of the 16. That's all 3 Roush cars that it takes out right there. And Dale Jr.
Look at Jimmy Johnson just squeezed by this. There's still some wrecking ahead of Jimmy Johnson yet.
We talk about bump drafting. It's hard to see from that angle we were right there, but bump drafting in the corners, you have to believe that Biffle got a shot right there. I don't think that the car would just turn sideways. Jimmy Johnson right there in the middle, just behind Kevin Harvick, who was involved in the accident, but Jimmy Johnson's going to slip through. See Jeff Burton down the apron. Let's watch right here.
Still 3, keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Right there, you cannot touch somebody right there on that left rear corner.
You just can't keep hitting them, especially in that corner. You got the wheels turned already, and you just have to lay off right at that point. As much as you're wanting to help move forward.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s onboard camera. You see the contact right in front of him there. and he'll have nowhere to go.
One inside, stay in front of you. Come on, come on, come on. We're in it, guys. Keep digging there. You're clear low when you get around them.
Yeah, that's a hard hit, too.
There you go. Come on, when you get off them there, if you can drive it.
See, Junior chose to get up in that outside line. He saw them moving, but wasn't expecting that to happen. Wow, that 48 car was just amazing getting through there, too.
This is Kevin Harvick now. See, he kind of gets by this first part right here.
All right. Come on, stand it. We're in it.
Yeah, then he got hit 2 or 3 different times.
These are the moves that can win a championship. Watch Jimmy Johnson.
Go to the middle, go to the middle. Hell yeah, watch us still crashing. Go down, go down, go down. Watch him, watch him.
See the 55 get hit from behind back there by Kevin Harvick, who Michael looked like he was getting by it, but Jimmy Johnson, that was just
and Reagan. David Reagan did a great job getting through there.
Yeah, that's
he
great
drove
job
through all of that
by those 2 drivers.
Let's listen to Jimmy's radio.
Did not hit a thing. Sam riding around dead last from here on out. There's only like 5 cars left. Can't we at least try to go for the win? No, you have no idea how lucky we are. I mean, I'm telling you what. We better still think lucky too, because it's not over. But I was just, did you hit anything or lock anything up? Punch a freaking soul.
That's not the first time that's been said by a driver, I'll assure you. You've thought that exact same thing.
So, Kyle Larson, the outside. Carl Edwards on the inside. Green flag back in the air. They're blocking. Go down low. Carl Edwards into the wall. He got tagged by the 22. Big hits by the 19. And the caution comes back out again.
That is exactly what we saw Joey Logano was going to try to do. Big fire of the 78. But that is what we thought was going to happen. Obviously, the wreck isn't what we thought. Martin Truex Jr. needs to get out of this race car.
Very aggressive on the restart. The flames rolling out from underneath the hood of the 78. Red flag comes out. Martin Truex Jr. is out of the car. Huge contact for the 19 of Carl Edwards. First it was the inside wall, then he was hit by another car.
A championship's on the line, Rick. The 22 gets a great restart. The 19 blocks. They make contact. Look at the damage on the 19 car. A couple huge impacts.
And we thought that's what was going to happen. The 22, Joey Logano, has been so good on restarts all night. The 22 gets a big run. Carl sees him coming. He goes to block. 22 does not slow up. Stays in the throttle. Big wreck.
And the 22 really ended up getting a lot better out of that situation, because it looked as though Brad Keselowski laid completely off of him, the 22's teammate.
Well, he wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't want anything to do with the accident or the championship battle. But you see the 48's blocking the 2 to the bottom.
And listen, if you're a Carl Edwards fan, you're upset at Joey Logano. If you're a Joey Logano fan, you're upset at Carl Edwards. That right there is Joey Logano being aggressive, making a very, very aggressive move, but he got a good restart. Carl Edwards had no choice but to block. If he doesn't turn left, Joey Logano's next to him entering turn 1. He's in the middle of 3 wide. Worst possible scenario for Carl. Carl turns left, trying to block a championship on the line. Joey's there in a big wreck. And I don't blame Carl Edwards.
Not at all.
He had to block. That's what he had to try to do.
But I don't blame Joey Logano, because if he lifts with 10 to go, it's over. He's lost the championship right there. He didn't hit the 19 in the bumper. He was inside the left rear bumper cover of the 19 of Carl Edwards. You see, he's walking it off. It's just the frustration. It's the size of the moment. A championship on the line. We knew restarts were going to be crazy. This one was completely out of control. But what a car that Carl Edwards had tonight. That's got to make the disappointment worth. Remember, 5 years ago, he tied here. He came back trying to win a championship.
It's mandatory that when a driver gets out of the car in the race that they go to the infield care center. Normally, they're taken there by the ambulance, but I believe the communication between the track worker, the safety worker, and Carl was, I'll walk over there. I'm going to walk there.
And remember, the 19 car led 47 laps tonight. That was the best of the 4 cars that were contending for the championship. So now that's why they're disappointed. That's why he was so dejected. Now NASCAR after this restart, they're going to have to go and figure out where everybody lines up. Remember, there's timing lines around the racetrack that lock them in, but there's also the factor that you have to maintain speed. You have to maintain a certain speed. So right now, NASCAR is looking at those scoring lines, and we'll watch replays to determine where to line everybody up.
Let's listen into the 22. Joey Logano, his radio on what took place.
I got damage on the right front and probably the right rear. Came down right in front of me.
Here, Joey Logano. He came down right in front of me. But Carl Edwards was trying to block. He did not want to give up that position on the restart.
No, he didn't want to give it up. He didn't want to give a championship up. He was put in a position because of Joey Logano's very good restart. Joey did everything right. Carl Edwards doesn't block. He's 3 wide, in the middle, getting into turn 1. His opportunity to win a championship is definitely less in that scenario. So, an aggressive move by Logano, but in my eyes, he did everything he was supposed to do, trying to win a race and win a championship.
I mean, this is what's on the line. 4 drivers, an entire season, a championship. Neither Joey Logano nor Carl Edwards have ever won a championship.
Really, Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch, of the 2 championship contenders remaining out on the track. Actually, Joey Logano's still out there, but will have a little bit of damage to the car. But those 2 benefit the most from this because they were able to get through.
What a big impact.
Huge.
To be honest, I've been focused so much on that restart, I didn't realize the degree of that impact.
Let's ride along with Joey Logano.
So you hear Joey Logano. He's to the inside. It gets to a point that the 19's pulled out. He's out of the gas. He's not in the gas turning the 19. He's out of the gas because he's so low on board here with the 19. I mean, that in real time.
Look at Carl Edwards. Look at Carl Edwards. Listen, he's smiling. He goes up. He's having a conversation with everything on the line.
He shook their hands.
Listen, I don't blame him for being frustrated or being upset because it's a championship, but taking time to go to them and have a conversation, I mean, that would have been difficult for me to do.
And Jeff, let me tell you, I mean, and you can speak to this more than anyone, but how difficult is it to get into this position as a driver, to get into the possibility of winning a championship? It doesn't happen very often. Carl Edwards, this might be his last chance to ever win a title, and that happened on the restart to take it away.
Well, remember how close he came. He and Tony Stewart, the closest finish in NASCAR history as far as points. That's how close he came to winning his championship, and he's been waiting since that moment to have another opportunity. And with only 10 laps to go to win a championship, to end up in this situation, he has to be unbelievably disappointed.
Marty.
He's had in a while. He's not going to run second in this race, I can tell you.
And is Edwards going to get to the front, or are they going to stall out before they get to Junior?
They got that run, baby.
And what's interesting, that's a Hendrick car running second. That's a Hendrick-related car leading the race. And that's a Hendrick-related car pushing Carl Edwards' white flag this time.
Yeah, Carl Edwards from the back all day to the lead with 1 to go.
3 Chevys and 1 Ford. And it doesn't matter now. Your friends are where you find them. And from hanging out back, Carl Edwards.
I'll tell you, I don't know if they can catch him. What we've seen today, 2 cars get that big a lit run on them. I don't know that the 39 and the 88 can catch them.
They're in the draft of Edwards and Keselowski.
He's all over you here, just you and him.
Carl Edwards restarted 8th.
If that 09 can stay hooked to the back of that 99, it's going to be hard to get him. It's going to be close right here at the line.
Can Keselowski try to win it?
I don't know. I don't think he can step out until he waits till the last second and picks up.
He goes to the outside. Is Edwards going? Oh, no! He turns him.
No!
Oh, and that destroyed the front end of Newman's car.
No!
Edwards will not make it to the flag.
Oh, Brad Keselowski won this race.
Unbelievable.
Carl Edwards' car destroyed. And Junior's protege, Keselowski, the winner, and Carl Edwards is moving around and ready to climb out.
Larry, look at that. The carburetor's gone off the engine.
It's completely gone.
Carl did what he wanted to do. He stayed at the back all day long. He played it smart. Had this race possibly won. Not now. Not sure where Carl's going. Maybe he thinks if he runs across the start-finish line, it'll count.
That's what he's got. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
He's like you know how he is. He's an athlete, a marathon runner. I want to finish the race.
And he did,
yes,
to a standing ovation from the crowd. Shades of Ricky Bobby.
Don't you know, Larry, that James Finch is fit to be tied right now?
Finch owns this car. He bought it from Rick Hendrick and leased the engine. A whole Hendrick package.
Let's take a look, Mike. Carl Edwards, he opened it up just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this is a hard lick right into the fence. I mean, that car, that looked like Bobby Allison did here in 1987.
The catch fence did its job, and the car did its job.
Thank goodness we have the new, much stronger, safer catch fences.
And Newman took a hard hit from Edwards as well. Look at just a car with the room left on the bottom.
What happened here is the 09 looked to the outside. Carl went up a little bit to block him, and 09 went right back to the bottom and clipped him.
You know, the move looked a lot like the one that Brian Vickers put on Jimmy Johnson when Vickers won.
Wow.
But what a hit.
Wow. That is 1987 all over again. Oh, my gosh. And did you see that? I believe it was Biffle that almost T-boned the 99. But watch. The 09's going to look to the outside where he already has. Carl went up to block him a little bit. Now he's going to come down to try to block him again. And you get one shot at it, but you don't get two. Watch this.
What a lick.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
You know, and looking very carefully at the catch fencing that held, and I did not see any debris go into the grandstand. And that certainly is
unbelievable.
It's very gratifying to see. Well,
I knew it was going to be wild. I didn't know it was going to be this wild.
Run here, the 3 back from him.
This is from Carl's onboard
Looking
camera.
inside, 09.
But Daryl, I want to ask you.
And from Dale Jr. Oof.
But Daryl, I want to ask you on air, because I did not see Brad Keselowski do anything wrong there.
No, it was a blocking move on Carl. The 09 looked to the outside. Carl went up to block that move, and when Carl came down, the 09 was there.